Good morning. You'll never believe this, but we're back in the blind. It's just so convenient to come here where we know there's going to be lots of birds instead of driving all over the place where we're not sure there's going to be lots of birds. So here we are again. Heather is using a very up close shot of her R7 in 100 to 500, and I'm using my R7 in 100 to 500. And I asked her what her settings were, and after I set mine up, and we both chose 1/160th to start with. It's pretty dark. It's been raining overnight, and she was at -2/3, and I'm at minus a full stop of exposure compensation because we have a black or dark background, so that works best. And anyway, I think she matched me at -1 to start with. We hadn't seen a bird yet. Wasn't planning on being out here this morning, so I had to prepare all my perches and food this morning. So it might take a minute before the birds get here, but they'll get here. It took a few minutes, but the birds are showing up. What was the first bird that showed up, Heather?
Carolina Wren.
Yeah, Carolina Wren showed up, and then all sorts of stuff. I made a video clip of the Carolina Wren using the R7 and the 100 to 500 as it stood there on the log, which I have screwed to the porch now. And then I also made a photograph of the Carolina Wren there in that same position. And while I was doing that, Heather was really making lots and lots of beautiful shots of the Carolina Wren. This is on the handrail of the porch. And here is one on the log. Look how cute it is, all puffed up. Heather did a really nice job with her edits on these. Here's another puffed up Carolina Wren on the log shot. And finally, she got a shot of it while it was actually singing. So very beautiful work that Heather did of the Carolina Wren. We've seen chipping sparrows. Here's my chipping sparrow shot there on one of the branches that we have near the porch. And here is Heather's shot. This is on another branch there that's on the porch. And she got another one here on another one of the perches that we have there on the porch. And finally, she got a shot of the chipping sparrow there on the handrail. She says it's her favorite of all the sparrows. House finches. Here's my male house finch shot there. And what a beautiful small bird it is. And Heather also got this shot of the male house finch. And her next photograph almost looks like it might be a purple finch, but it's probably not. It's probably just another male house finch. Mockingbirds. One bird you can always count on in our back porch feeder stations is this mockingbird. This is usually the dominant bird there in our backyard, and I enjoyed photographing it. And as usual, if you look in the bottom right of the photographs, if it says nothing like this one, it's my photo. And if it says Heather Boyd like this photo, it's one of Heather's. And she got a couple of shots of the mockingbird. And we always enjoy it when the mockingbird comes up so we can get a few shots of it. We had quite a bit of bird activity, and then a brown-headed cowbird came to the feeder, or to the feeders. And usually we see females, and this time we got a male brown-headed cowbird. I wasn't happy with my brown-headed cowbird photo, but here is Heather's, and now that we've got a male to show you, you can see exactly how it's got its brown-headed cowbird name, and we kind of like this guy. Directly behind us, mounted on the porch, is a bluebird house that my sister's husband made for me. And bluebirds breed there all the time. There's a song sparrow, honey. Anyway, sometimes the male bluebird will come over and attack the squirrel that likes to get on our feeders, which makes me think it's trying to keep the squirrel from getting into its nest and steal eggs. But it only stays over here for a second on the side that we can actually see from the blind. But there is, near the bluebird house, there is a redbud tree. As a matter of fact, it's the redbud tree that I've pruned, and some of the perches over here that we actually shoot off of are pruning clippings from that redbud tree. But anyway, we heard it making some noise, and I stuck my camera through the other outlet that I used last time I was in here and had to point straight back that way. Poor Heather can't get a shot in that direction. But anyway, I got a shot of the male eastern bluebird. So from down here in the yard, you can see this wrought iron device with a branch, and up there are all of the perches. And right here is the blind, and directly behind the blind, right there, is the Bluebird house. So they are in there, even though it's mid-March, they're in there doing their business. And whenever the squirrel would come up and land on the other side of the porch, the male would go and attack it. And the shot that I've got, I moved my camera and did handheld out this side and made a shot of it on this. This is a young, but still about 10 feet tall redbud tree that is growing in the yard. Here are the shots of the bluebird that I did get in that redbud tree, and this is a male, which has brighter colors than the female, but the females are also beautiful, but we didn't get any female eastern bluebird photographs on this day, but we really enjoy photographing the male. It may be one of the most beautiful birds you can photograph. Just love the colors of the male eastern bluebird. The bluebird has come a couple of times and perched over here just to the left of our main perches. I've got a wrought iron device with a branch attached to it, and it's landed on there a couple of times. We didn't get a bluebird photograph that we were happy with on that particular occasion, but then the mockingbird came back and landed on the handrail, not even all the way across, but closer to the blind, and I got a couple of shots of it, and Heather at that same time got a couple of shots of the mockingbird on the handrail. And then this next creature we have nicknamed Rodney, and Rodney eats more of our bird seed than any other of our visitors, but we've gotten to where we kind of like this little squirrel, so we let him be and don't bother him and let him have his fill. And here's Heather's shot of Rodney as he was munching down on some black oil sunflower seeds. The bluebird finally came around and landed on a perch where Heather could get a shot. Yay. Here's the male eastern bluebird once again on one of our regular perches, this time not on the redbud tree on the opposite side of the blind. And now finally Heather got a photograph of the eastern bluebird. This is not a lifer for her, but the first time she's photographed our eastern bluebird. There's two main invasive birds around here, and one's the European starling, and we do see those on the back porch. Got a picture of one just a moment ago, and the other is the English house sparrow, which we never see those around our house. We see them other places, but not here. Here's my photograph of the European starling there on the back porch, and look at all those colors. There's purples and blues and greens, and the speckles are amazing. Just a beautiful bird, the European starling. Well, we got a lot of stuff to do today, so we're going to go ahead and call it and say bye-bye, and thanks for joining us from here at the Old Bird Studio, the blind/hide on our back porch. Just a short little session this morning, but we think we got some interesting shots for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. And as always, we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.